3 days after my mom called me a disappointment from which nothing will come of it, she put a post online about her perfect son graduating from university with honors. It wasn't me. Then she called, "We're throwing him a huge party. You're paying for the catering, $2,000, transfer urgently." When I said, "Why should I pay?" she yelled, "Because you owe us for living." I only grinned. "I don't owe you anything. Be glad I stayed around it all." That night I did something I promised myself I would never do. Now they're in a panic. The calls don't stop. Mommy's in tears. She can't breathe. "He won't go on stage without you. Just come back. We agree on everything." Okay, so this probably won't be anything groundbreaking, but I just need to let it out somewhere. I'm not really looking for advice, and definitely not the "you should try talking to her" kind of thing. If you've ever grown up with parents who seem to forget you exist unless they need something from you, then maybe you'll get where I'm coming from. It started a few weeks ago, right when graduation season kicked off. My name's Alex. I'm 19, just finished community college. Nothing fancy, but I worked my ass off to get through it while holding down a part-time job and living at home to save cash. Nothing was handed to me. I kept my head down, did what I had to do. My mom, Carla, is basically addicted to Facebook. I swear, she treats that app like it's her full-time job. Every meal she cooks? Posted. A selfie with the dog? Posted. So of course, when my younger brother Jason graduated from high school, she went nuclear with the posts. Picture this, him in his cap and gown, her beaming next to him, long-ass caption about how proud she is, how her amazing baby boy is graduating with honors, and how she's never been more fulfilled as a mother. She tagged half the planet. Made it public. Like she wanted people she hasn't seen since 2003 to see it. And yeah, before you ask, there was nothing about me. Not a single word. No photo, no congrats to both my sons, not even a damn like on my own graduation post from last month. I posted one photo of me holding my degree with a dumb little smile, got 3 likes, none from her. That part? Honestly, it didn't even surprise me. That's just how it is. Jason's always been the golden one. He's not even that special, he just knows how to turn it on when it counts. Loud, charming, always knows how to say the right thing at the right time. He plays to the crowd, and my mom eats that shit up like it's gospel. Me? I've always been more low profile. I keep quiet, try not to cause trouble, do my thing. If you'd asked me 3 months ago why, I'd say I was just trying to get by, save money, avoid drama. But lately it's starting to feel more like survival than strategy. I figured I'd just ignore the whole Facebook circus and move on. I even muted her account. But then my cousin Danny sent me a screenshot of the post with a text that said, "Yo, where are you in all this?" I laughed it off at first, like classic Carla behavior. Whatever. Not new. But then this is where it really started to unravel. 3 days later, I'm in the kitchen scrolling on my phone, just minding my business, and Mom walks in like she's my boss about to fire me. No hello, no preamble. Just that look, cold, impatient, like I'm wasting her time by breathing. She starts right in with, "I don't understand why you can't be more like Jason. He's responsible, he's helpful. You just mope around here all day." And on and on. She's disappointed. I'm ungrateful. I'm selfish. Blah blah blah. I just keep scrolling. I know better than to argue, it only makes it worse. Then, right as I'm about to leave the room, she drops it on me like it's no big deal. Says, "By the way, we're throwing a big party for Jason's graduation next weekend. We want it to be special. You're paying for the catering." Just like that. Not a question. Not a discussion. A statement. Like she's handing me a grocery list. I literally laughed. Not in a mean way, just in that "are you serious right now" kind of way. I asked her, "Why would I pay for that?" She goes stone-faced. Then she says, "And I kid you not, because you owe us for everything we've done for you. You wouldn't even exist without us." Let that sink in. You owe us for existing. Like that's a normal thing to say to your kid. She wasn't even embarrassed. She looked pissed that I wasn't already pulling out my debit card. I don't know what happened in my head at that moment, but something snapped. All the little things I've let slide over the years, the constant comparisons, the guilt trips, the silent treatment, just boiled over. I stood there while she ranted about the food and the guest list and how important this day was for the family image. And I realized, this party isn't even about Jason. It's about her. It's about how she wants to be seen by the neighbors, the church folks, the Facebook world. And she expected me, the invisible one, to bankroll it. I told her no. Calm clear, no. She lost her damn mind. Started shouting. Said I was selfish and ruining Jason's big moment. That I was trying to make everything about me. Dad walked in during the middle of it and, like always, just told me to stop making things harder. That's his go-to. He never picks a side, just tries to smooth things over by siding with whoever yells the loudest. Jason wasn't even around. He was probably in his room with headphones on, gaming while pretending he didn't hear the yelling. That's his specialty, act above it all until he needs something, then go full baby mode so mom rushes to fix everything. Anyway, she actually tried to physically block me from leaving the room. Got in my face, pushed me back a step. That was new. She'd never laid hands on me before. I didn't push back. I just moved around her and walked out. She slammed the door so hard I heard one of the picture frames fall. I went to the garage and just sat there. No music, no phone, just sat. I was too mad to think. It wasn't even about the money. I could afford to pay for the catering if I really wanted to. I'd been saving up for a car. But the idea of giving her that money for that reason made me feel physically sick. She didn't ask me. She demanded it like it was her right. Like I owed her because I exist. That was the part one couldn't shake. Later that day, the family group chat started blowing up. Apparently she'd already told everyone that I refused to support Jason's celebration and that I hurt her deeply. I got texts from an aunt I haven't talked to in months asking what happened. I didn't reply. I knew better. Anything I said would get twisted. Next morning, I wake up to a call at work from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. Turns out it was the catering company. She gave them my number. Said I'd be handling the deposit. I sent her a screenshot. No message. Just the image. She left me on read. I think she expected me to freak out and pay just to shut it all down. But that's not happening anymore. I'm tired of being the fallback. The spare son. The invisible one. I pay rent. I pay for my own groceries. I do chores. I run errands. I've done everything I can to not be a burden. And somehow that's still not enough. This time, I'm not caving. She wants a show. She can throw it without me. Let's see how well the queen of Facebook handles it when her golden son's big day doesn't go as planned. Next part? Let's just say things got messier than I expected. I honestly thought it would die down after that. That maybe she'd yell for a few days, complain to the family group chat, and then move on like she always does. That's the pattern. Explosion, silence, denial, rinse and repeat. But this time, nah, she was on a mission. The next morning, I'm just trying to grab some toast before heading to work, and she's already in the kitchen on the phone. Loud as hell, definitely on purpose. Talking to someone about how hurt she is, and how some people just don't understand what family means anymore. Every sentence is dripping in fake sadness. But every few words, she looks right at me like she wants me to react. I don't. I butter my toast and walk away. When I get out of the shower, I've got 10 missed calls from the same random number. I finally pick up one of the voicemails. It's the caterer again, asking me to confirm the menu and send in a deposit or the order will be canceled. So yeah, she gave them my number again. At this point, I'm not even surprised, just irritated. I send her another screenshot, no words. She leaves me on read again. I think she honestly believed I'd fold under pressure, like I'd just get sick of the drama and pay to shut everyone up. That's what I usually do. Avoid conflict, keep the peace. But I'm not that guy anymore. About an hour later, I hear the front door slam and my dad stomp through the hallway. He never talks to me unless it's to fix something or move furniture. So when he calls me into the living room, I already know it's going to be some scripted guilt speech from Mom. He stands there like he's reading off a teleprompter and says, "You need to stop disrespecting this family. It's time you stepped up and acted like a man." I just stare at him. I know those words aren't even his. They're hers, coming out of his mouth. He pauses for dramatic effect and then adds, "If you're not going to contribute, maybe you shouldn't live here anymore." I raise an eyebrow, but I don't say anything. He's bluffing and we both know it. Kicking me out would mess with their image. Can't have the neighborhood thinking they're the kind of parents who abandon their kids over party money. He glares at me like he expects a reaction, but I give him nothing. He mutters something under his breath and walks out to the garage, where he starts yelling at someone on the phone, probably Mom. Then she comes in for round 2. Starts with the whole "you're ruining your brother's big moment" speech. How she's never been more disappointed in me. How she only wanted the family to look good for once. That part kills me. It's always about appearances. She doesn't care how we feel, just how we look. She gets close. Too close. Tries to shove me again, but I step aside and she stumbles into the edge of the table. She doesn't say anything about that, just huffs and goes, "If you're not going to help, you're not welcome at the party." I shrug. Wasn't planning on coming. She looks at me like I just slapped her. The silence is heavy. And then, without a word, she turns and storms off, slamming her bedroom door like a teenager. And right on cue, my phone starts blowing up. And cousin. Even some guy named Frank, who I vaguely remember from a family reunion 10 years ago, all asking what's going on. Why I'm causing problems. Why I can't just help out this one time. I know exactly who's been feeding them the story, so I start forwarding screenshots. Just the messages from the catering company. A couple of texts from Mom. No commentary. No drama. Just facts. Some of them go quiet. Others reply with half-hearted yikes, or that's a lot. My cousin Danny, the only one who seems to get it, just texts me classic Carla and a laughing emoji. That helps, honestly. Later that night, I sit in my room thinking about it all. About how this is always how it goes. If I stay quiet, I get steamrolled. If I speak up, I'm the villain. So screw it, I'll be the villain. I start thinking, what can I do that's legal, non-violent, but still makes it clear I'm not playing anymore? First thing I do is call the catering company. I tell them clearly, I didn't authorize anything, I'm not paying for anything, and they need to remove my name from the order immediately. The woman on the phone sounds nervous but says she understands. I can tell she's caught in the middle. Then I remember the cake place. Mom mentioned it in passing. I look them up, call them too. Same story. I didn't place this order. If Carla doesn't pay, cancel it. They agree, take my info off the contact list. I sit back and breathe. For the first time in forever, I feel like I actually have control. Not over them, but over me. Over my own name, my money, my boundaries. It doesn't last long. About an hour later, Mom comes storming into my room. No knocking. She tries to grab my phone off the bed. I snatch it before she can. She slaps my arm. Not hard. Just enough to make a point. I look her dead in the eye and say, "You can't force me to fund your fantasy." She glares at me, says nothing, and walks out. Slams the door. It rattles on its hinges. We don't speak for the rest of the night. But I can hear her, on the phone, whisper crying to her sister about how I turned on the family. That phrase stays with me. Turned on the family. Funny how in this family, saying no is betrayal, but lying and manipulating is just another Tuesday. By the next morning, I knew I was done. I didn't say anything right away, didn't slam doors or make a scene. I just woke up, sat on the edge of my bed, and realized I couldn't keep living in a house where I had to earn basic respect like it was some kind of prize. Mom was already pacing around on the phone, talking loudly on purpose again. I could hear every word through the walls. He's completely ungrateful. I've sacrificed everything. I don't know how much more I can take. She said it like she was talking to a therapist, but it was just her sister. Theatrics as usual. And get this, Jason was actually awake. Early. He's usually comatose until noon, but there he was in the kitchen pretending to scroll his phone like nothing was happening. Except I caught the way he kept glancing toward the hallway like he was waiting for another explosion. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't trust myself not to snap. Then more phone calls. This time from the cake place and the venue. Apparently, Mom had put me down as the emergency contact there too. So now I've got people calling and texting me asking about payments and confirmations for a party I'm not even invited to. I gave every one of them the same line, "You need to speak to Carla." I'm not involved. I could hear her yelling from the other room. First at them, then at Dad, then just in general. At one point, I heard something crash, like a cup or maybe her phone. A few minutes later, I get a text from my aunt. "Can't you just pay this one time to keep the peace?" I didn't respond right away. Instead, I sent her the same screenshots I'd sent before, catering invoices with my name, the texts where Mom basically threatened me into funding the whole thing. A couple minutes later, she replied, "Didn't realize it was like that." Exactly. But the house? It was becoming unbearable. Every step I took felt like I was walking through a minefield. Dad barely looked at me, and when he did, it was with that tight-lipped, "you're disappointing me" expression that used to guilt me into doing whatever they wanted. Didn't work anymore. That afternoon, Mom tried a different tactic. She walked into my room, this time knocked first, weirdly, and sat down on the edge of my bed like she was in some heartfelt drama. She sighed, looked tired, and said, "I know you're not Jason. And that's okay. I just wish you'd help for the family." I didn't say anything. Then she asked, "Would you at least cover half? We'll figure out the rest." "No," I said. "Calm. Just one word." She stood up, slapped her own thigh in frustration, and stormed out. No yelling this time. Just that slow building pressure, like a kettle getting ready to blow. Then came plan C. The dad text. He messaged me from work. "You need to apologize and contribute, or maybe it's time to start looking for another place to stay." I replied, "Maybe I will." I don't think he expected that. A few minutes later, I got a second text. "Let's talk tonight." "Sure. Let's." That evening, Mom stormed into the kitchen ranting about how the caterer was threatening to cancel. How I sabotaged everything. How people were going to ask questions and she was going to have to explain the shame. I told her again I wasn't paying. I wasn't coming. I wasn't involved. She tried to grab my phone off the counter. I caught it before she could. She slapped my hand again, not hard, but enough. "You're embarrassing me," she hissed. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "You do a good enough job of that on your own." She didn't like that. Not one bit. Then, like a poorly timed sitcom moment, Jason finally decided to get involved. He came out of his room like he was doing us a favor. All dramatic, rubbing his eyes like he just woke up, and says, "Just pay it if you have the money. You're making this way harder than it needs to be." I laughed. Couldn't help it. "Pay for your own party, dude. You're the one she wants on stage." And that hit him. He actually stepped forward and shoved me. Not hard, not enough to hurt, but just enough to try to assert himself. So I shoved him back. A little harder. Mom screamed at both of us to stop. Then she kicked a chair. Kicked it across the kitchen. No one said anything after that. We just scattered. That night, I packed a bag. Just essentials: laptop, charger, some clothes, headphones. Nothing dramatic. I wasn't running away. I was just done. I messaged my friend Marcus, asked if I could crash at his place for a few days. He replied within 2 minutes. "Always. Doors open." I sat on my bed, bag at my feet, and looked around the room. It's crazy how a place can stop feeling like home. Same bed, same walls, but everything felt smaller. Heavier. I could hear Mom in the living room on the phone again. This time crying. "He's tearing this family apart. I don't even know what he wants from us. We gave him everything. Everything except respect." That was the last thing I heard before I grabbed my bag and left the house through the garage. No one stopped me. No one even noticed. But I didn't leave empty-handed. I'd printed out screenshots of all the texts she sent me, every guilt trip, every demand, every "you owe us" message. No added notes. No edits. Just the receipts. I left one envelope on her dresser, another in Dad's sock drawer, and the last one slid under Jason's door. Before I walked out, I sent a photo of the envelopes to the family group chat with one message. "I'm out. Ask Carla why." Then I blocked all 3 of them. Not forever. Just long enough to breathe. I walked out the door with a duffel bag and 0 regrets. No goodbye, no slamming doors. Just quiet. I didn't even check if anyone noticed. I figured they'd find out soon enough, either from the silence or the envelopes I left behind. I got to Marcus's place around 9 p.m. He didn't ask for details, just handed me a beer and put on some dumb action movie. We sat in silence for a while, just existing. It was the most peace I'd felt in weeks. Meanwhile, my phone was blowing up. Calls. Texts. Voicemails. Family group chat on fire. Unknown numbers, probably vendors Mom still hadn't paid. I let it all sit. I didn't even glance at it until the next morning. I woke up to 43 missed calls and dozens of unread messages. The first one that made me laugh was from my aunt. "Your mom is in tears. She says she can't breathe. You need to come home." Then one from Jason. "Please just come to the party. I'm not doing this alone." And finally from Dad. "Come back. We'll fix this. Just help us pull this off." "Now you want to fix it?" I didn't reply. I found out what actually happened from Danny, my cousin. She's the only one I still had unblocked. Apparently, the party was a disaster. The caterer never got the deposit, so they canceled the whole order that morning. No food, no drinks, just some store-bought cupcakes and tap water. People showed up expecting a banquet and ended up standing around awkwardly in the backyard. The decorations? Also missing. Mom never followed up after I had my name removed from the vendor list. So no balloons, no banner, not even the "Congratulations, Jason" sign she bragged about ordering 2 weeks ago. Guests started leaving 20 minutes in. Some of the church folks gave her that polite but judgy face. A few relatives asked where I was. Someone even asked if I was okay. That part apparently set Mom off. She locked herself in the bathroom and cried for almost an hour. Dad tried to keep things together, but he was pissed too. And Jason? According to Danny, he refused to go up for his honors speech. Said he wasn't doing it without his brother there. That surprised me, not gonna lie. Not enough to go back, but still. Meanwhile, my phone just kept buzzing. One message after another, like a wave of desperation. You humiliated this family. This was supposed to be Jason's day. We sacrificed everything for you. Do it for Grandma. Even Grandma texted me, but hers was different. She wrote, I'm sorry things got like this. You don't deserve to be treated this way. That one hit me in the chest. But it didn't change anything. By the end of the day, people on Facebook had started asking questions. Mom had posted photos early in the day, smiling through the chaos. But the comments turned passive-aggressive fast. Where's Alex? Is the food coming later? I thought there was a full setup. She deleted a bunch of them. Started blaming the caterer online, saying they bailed last minute. But enough people had seen the group chat receipts. They knew. I didn't even have to defend myself. The truth was already out there. For once, I didn't have to explain why I didn't show up. They explained it for me. And the best part? I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I was just done. I sat on Marcus's couch that night, watching some late-night show, and realized something. I wasn't going back. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Maybe not ever. They wanted me to fund their fantasy, to smile for the camera and disappear the second the spotlight moved. And when I stopped playing along, everything fell apart. Good. Let them feel what it's like to lose their backup plan. The next evening, I got one final message from Mom. Just 5 words. You've made your point. I stared at it for a minute. Then I typed back. Yeah, I did. And that was it. No apology. No attempt to fix things. Just a cold acknowledgement that she couldn't control me anymore. That the game changed. I stayed at Marcus's for the rest of the week. Slept better than I had in months. Started looking for studio apartments. Nothing fancy, just a space that was mine. No one slamming doors, no lectures about Jason, no guilt hanging in the air like fog. It sucks to admit it, but I think I always knew this day was coming. I just didn't expect it to feel like freedom. I thought I'd feel guilty. I didn't. I thought I'd miss them. I don't. I miss what I wish they were. But not who they really are. The truth is, family doesn't mean what people say it does. Not always. Sometimes family just means the people you happen to live with. Sometimes it's the ones who don't make you feel small every time you say no. I've got people in my life now who respect me without conditions. Friends who don't demand I buy my place at the table. Who don't disappear until they need something. And that's enough. I'm not saying things are perfect now. I still have days where I second-guess myself, wonder if I was too harsh, if I should have just helped like they wanted. But then I remember I wasn't the one who made this war. I just stopped pretending I didn't see the battlefield. And for once, I walked away on my own terms.